Welcome to the AI Automations for Business podcast. We're your hosts, Katie and Noel, and we'll be discussing how you can use AI for your business along with the latest news, updates, and automations to help you stay ahead of the curve, allowing you to grow and scale your business more efficiently. Please be sure to subscribe, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello and welcome back to another episode. Hello, I'm Katie, and as always, I've got Noel here with me today. Hi Noel, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing absolutely fantastic this week. How are you doing?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Yeah, still riding through this very odd UK summer where it's actually hot the whole time.
Yeah, where's the rain? Come on.
I don't know. Probably when the children break up.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. It's probably coming.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we usually start the podcast off with any updates from the AI and the automation world. But this week there has been so many updates from OpenAI. We thought we would talk about them and discuss them throughout the whole of this podcast episode. There are a lot of updates. We're obviously only going to be talking about the ones that really affect people on a day-to-day basis, rather than like all the little behind-the-scenes things that actually, we don't need to know about, perhaps. But yeah, we're doing a whole podcast episode on the new updates as of July 2026 from OpenAI. Because there's a lot, isn't there, Noel?
Oh, there's so many. It was ridiculous. Again, it was after I'd edited the last episode, they all came through, and I was like, wow. There's a lot, and there's a lot of some really good stuff, which should be really helpful for most people listening to this. So, exciting times.
And we always try and make this podcast suitable for anyone who is listening. So whether you're a beginner or you've got more experience with AI and automations, because we want to make sure that AI and automations is accessible and to be able to be understood by all people within business, rather than just talking a load of jargon at people, and people are having to stop the podcast and go, I don't know what that means, or people just switching off because they don't understand. So we try and make this suitable for anyone who's listening, whether you've got months of experience, or perhaps you're just getting started out and you want to learn more.
Yeah.
So Noel, do you want to start us off with our first new update, and we'll take it from there?
So the first part of the updates is I thought we'll go through the new models that OpenAI released last week. So I thought OpenAI had got around the silly naming convention for AI models. I thought they'd put that to bed 6 months ago, but clearly not. They're back. So this time they've released GPT 5.6, but there's kind of 3 variants of that AI model. So we've got Sol, we've got Terra and Luna. So they all vary on how good they are and what they're good at, how expensive and cheap they are on the API and things like that. So Sol is like the top tier one. That is like the super smart one. I would put that almost in the realms of Fable 5 from Anthropic. In some of the benchmarks, it's actually very, very close in how good that is. Terra is a bit more like Opus 4.8 from Anthropic, so it's the next one down. Still very capable. And Luna is something that's really lightweight, really fast, and actually really cheap when it comes to API costs and things like that. So they're incredible models. I've had a little play around with them, and I would say they're definitely getting a lot better from OpenAI. I think over the last 6 months, I kind of got a bit fed up with their models. And I went all in on Anthropic, but I think these ones now, I think, are starting to make me look again at OpenAI and maybe starting to use them a little bit more in the future. which is kind of interesting.
That's really interesting because, we've talked about this on several episodes where, we've said OpenAI, they've tried to do so many different things, whereas Anthropic, they're like, this is what we do and it's just this, and that's why perhaps they were a bit better when it came to their AI models. Especially when it came to research. So it's really interesting now that you're swinging back to OpenAI because of these new updates. So I think that's really interesting, isn't it? It's kind of like just to be flexible and adaptable, that actually, for a few months you might be using Anthropic, and then another few months time you might be using OpenAI, and then who knows, we might swing back to Anthropic again.
Yeah, or that could be next week. I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know how quick it moves.
When we were having a chat before we hit record, you actually said to me, Noel, you were thinking of cancelling your Anthropic subscription because of these updates.
Yeah.
Can you go into a bit more about that? Because you are such an Anthropic fan, like you and Claude are BFFs.
Yeah, we were, yeah. I
Were.
don't
Oh,
know.
God.
It's a little strained. It's a strained relationship at the minute. So with Anthropic, they're dangling that Fable 5 carrot. So that's like the best AI model you can get your hands on currently. There is another one called Mythos, but that's unobtainable for unless you're like a big, huge company like Apple. They've got access to it. So yeah, we're not in that sort of realm yet. So, but what they keep doing with Fable 5, obviously, it got turned off a few weeks ago. Then it came back and they said, right, you've only got it for 7 days. And then the day before it was going to get turned off, they then said, oh, but we're going to give it you now for another 7 days. And that's going to run out in like a couple of days' time. And yeah, it's just, the more I use it, the more I'm thinking, this is actually really slow. It's very clever. It's just really slow, but I find 5.6 Sol is actually just as clever, and it shows it in the benchmarks. It is really, really clever at coding and all sorts of complicated tasks, and yeah, it's just so much quicker. So yeah, I was just thinking I might as well just go back to OpenAI and use that capability, because on one of the coding benchmarks, it's literally 1 point behind Fable. So I'm doing loads of apps and websites at the minute. So why would I not go back to OpenAI and use that? Because they're not threatening to turn it off anytime soon. So
okay,
yeah, but
that
I still
makes a good point.
But I still love Anthropic for being the business partner side of things, because it's very honest. It will tell you quite straightforward. It's like, no, I don't think you should be doing this. With OpenAI models, I just find that they're a bit of a yes man. They'll agree with anything. Anything's a good idea, even if it's not. Whereas Anthropic, they've really nailed that down. And they're like, no, this is terrible. Stop do not do what you're doing.
That's what was annoying me about OpenAI. It was just agreeing with me, and I didn't want it to agree with me. I wanted it to, give me like a more balanced view or opinion on things.
Yeah.
With all the information that AI can bring to our fingertips, it was kind of like you can scan the internet within seconds and actually tell me if this is good or not. And it was just, bringing back results that it thought I wanted to hear. Whereas actually, I wanted to be told, no, this isn't great because, X, Y, Z.
Yeah. Yeah, you need that balance.
Yeah, or if you're thinking of doing something like this, it might be better if you went down this route or looked at this, point specifically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'll still use it for that, but yeah, I have not turned any any subscriptions off just yet. I've not
Okay.
gone all in.
Maybe we'll check in again with you next week, see if you've still got your Anthropic
Yeah,
subscription.
I'll be wearing an OpenAI t-shirt or something next week. Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's really, really interesting.
Mm.
And if you're listening to this and you've tried the new OpenAI models, we'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think about them? You can either send us an email, hello@makeautomations.ai, or come over to our free LinkedIn group, which is AI Automations for Business, and it's free to join. You don't need to be a client or anything like that. You can just come along and join, and you can just have conversations in there with us and tell us what you're building or how you're using AI. Yeah, what you like, what you don't like, what you think's good, what you don't think is good, all of those things. Just conversations.
Mm. Yeah, love having those conversations.
What's the next update now?
So the next thing is, alongside these models, they also brought out ChatGPT Work. Now, this is kind of where I always thought like OpenAI was going to go, because yes, it was great. You had this, AI chatbot that you could just have conversations with, and if you wanted it to, it could go off and do things in your inbox, or create things in your CRM and things like that. You could connect those in, but now they've really moved into the work mode, so they're really targeting business owners and employees and things like that use ChatGPT on a daily basis. So with ChatGPT Work, you can create any kind of document presentation. You can create like visualizations and infographics, all based on your data. And the really cool thing is you can also give it access to certain files and folders. So if you have the ChatGPT app on your PC or laptop, you can say, well, look, you can only work in this area. This is what you're allowed. Or you could give it everything if you wanted to. That option is there. It's up to you if you want to use it. Personally, I wouldn't, but
Yeah.
but it is there. So yeah, you could create tasks with ChatGPT Work to say, well, look, I need to be doing, I want to do X, Y, and Z this week. Can you help me do it? And it will like, well, okay, well, we need to create a presentation or whatever. It will go off and do that for you within like your brand guides and all that sorts of good stuff. So yeah, it's a really, really awesome switch. And what I've noticed now they've implemented ChatGPT Work is the normal chat that we're all used to and we've been using for years.
Yeah.
It's actually a side feature. It's more of an add-on these days. So yeah, so when you click on chat in the desktop app, it just pops up in like a little, almost like a chatbot that you would have like on a website in the bottom right-hand corner. And then you can use the chat function in there. So they're kind of pushing you more towards using it for work than not for work, which kind of makes sense because that's where the money's at, isn't it, really? There's businesses using it for work.
Yeah, but then there's so many people who don't use it for work and they just use it for personal things. And there's also things like sports clubs that use it, in other community groups, things like that. So yeah, because whenever I see, like a local event being advertised, it's always an AI poster. It's always the same sort of layout, sort of thing, or the same graphic, same style of graphic. So yeah, it would be really interesting to know why they've gone for that layout.
I think at the current moment of having a look and testing it, I think that's really only in like the desktop app where they make that harsh distinction. But I think if you're using it on mobile and also on browser, there is like a toggle button that says work or chat, and the chat is then a bit more traditional than what we're used to.
Yeah.
So yeah, but if you have it on the desktop app, you're kind of forced to use chat in that little tiny widget in the bottom corner. So
okay, so it is only on the desktop app.
Yeah.
And do we know how many people, like how many users actually use the desktop app rather than, just the browser or mobile version?
I don't know. I mean, it's going to be one or two, isn't it? Because didn't they recently say they've got now 1 billion monthly users?
Whoa.
Yeah. So even 1% of that's quite a big big
Yeah.
group, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I would say, I guess like quite a lot of businesses would be using it on the desktop app because I guess you can then control it a bit more from a security perspective and things like that. So yeah, there's going to be a lot, I would say, that would use
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Okay.
especially if anyone's doing like the codex side of things with developing websites or apps or anything like that, they're going to use it, the desktop app, to do that more than the browser. So yeah.
Yes. So I've just asked the internet how many people use OpenAI desktop app, and apparently OpenAI does not publicly distinguish between web browser and desktop app users. Yeah, and it just says that 1 million, they've got 1 million monthly active users across all platforms, so that's web, desktop, and mobile. And then they're saying that the features within the ChatGPT desktop app draw highly engaged cohorts such as the Codex ChatGPT Work environments, and that reaches 7 million active users.
So there's a few.
Yeah.
One or two.
Yeah.
Me being one of them.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's really, yeah, it's interesting how it's shifted, I guess. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
interesting to see that in action. But yeah. With work, it is actually open to anyone on a free account. So I have a ChatGPT free account currently, and I can use work on there. So if you wanted to give it a go, then you can do free of charge. I think your usage limits are going to be terrible. You won't be able to do that much, but at least you'll be able to see it in action and give it a go. But there are some other big features in there. So we can, within work, connect to hundreds, if not a couple of thousand apps within there. So, you can connect to all of the big CRMs, all of the big email providers. You've got things like Slack or Canva. They're all in there. You've got all of your databases. So when you're using the tasks in work, then the AI will then go off and then go, well, we need to, close this out in Asana. So it'll go off, use the Asana app, and then update everything for you. So, it's really awesome how all that links together and works. And I believe you can have your own personal apps as well connected in there. So there is a personal tab, but like I say, I'm on a free account, so I can't create any. But I would assume
Okay, so you don't have access to that on the free account.
No.
Okay.
You see the option, but yeah, you can't do anything with it, which is a bit of a tease. There's not even they should really put in a button to upgrade. They've missed that in the UI, but
Yeah.
instead of showing a blank screen. But yeah, I guess from that point you'll be able to connect into like MCP servers where you might have data or an app that isn't maybe as popular that you use on a day-to-day basis. You could probably connect that in there as well. So yeah, really, really awesome. Another really cool feature which I've really enjoyed seeing in action is the browser control. So I say way back, was it last year when they released Atlas?
Way back last year.
Not even 12 months ago.
No, probably not.
I think, it was late last year, wasn't it? But anyway, they brought out their AI browser called Atlas.
Yes, I remember it well.
It was a bit slow, a bit clunky, a bit. It was something. It was a cool concept. I chalk it down as that. It's since been binned. No one uses it. But with ChatGPT Work, when you ask the AI to maybe go off and look something up, it would then open up little browser tabs, and you'll be able to then go off and then read the websites which it's currently going through. So you could be like, "Oh, that's interesting. I could have a look at that, read it myself, and see where it's going." Or it might be looking at a website you're like, this isn't the direction I wanted you to go in, and then you could then change it, whatever. But they've also added in a really awesome little feature where you can open your own tab, and then you could just be like, well, while it's doing that, I'm just going to load up LinkedIn and see what's going on. And that's completely separate. So the AI doesn't access that browser tab, just you, and things like that. So you could be working within ChatGPT while the agent's off doing other stuff with the browser, which I thought was quite cool.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Yeah, you can also make it full screen, so you can hit a full screen button, so your browser tab becomes bigger. But then there's also then the option to then hide the left-hand sidebar, so that it is true full screen. So it's just like you're using Google or any other browser, which is really interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So,
Yeah.
but does OpenAI track then what browsers you're opening?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. Possibly they must know like the
What you're opening,
where
what
the
you're
links are
looking
going.
at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
I'm
probably
just
don't see the
thinking of
data, but they'll see the URL, I guess, that you've opened.
I'm just thinking of like tracking cookies, that
Oh,
sort of thing.
I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
Yeah,
Who
update us
knows?
next week on that one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, be like, don't use the browser.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's not that. I'm sure they've been all above board these days with data. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that'd just be really interesting to know.
Yes, I'll look that up and give an
Okay.
update next week.
No.
Yeah. Okay. So with the ChatGPT work, yes, it's great. I would say the experience is better on desktop apps because it can access your files. But if you open the browser, you then can't access like your local files on your computer. So you can't really use it remotely. But what they have done within the mobile app is you can remote connect to your laptop or PC that you've got the browser, the ChatGPT app installed on, and then you can then use your files remotely from the mobile app. So if you want to start tasks, while you're out and about having a coffee, you can, which is really quite awesome. So I guess the browser at some point will catch up, but the mobile app will still allow you to do that, which is really quite powerful. Because I always have those moments you think, oh, I should have started that task before I left.
Yeah.
But no fear, I can do it now.
It's quite good though as well. Like if you forget or if you get stuck and you're like, oh, I really wanted to have got that started by now. So you get stuck in traffic or you get delayed, anything like that. Yeah, it's good to have it on mobile.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. It's really cool, really awesome.
Yeah.
The one of the last bits is they've added in a thing called sites into ChatGPT. I think that's mainly on the app, desktop app. But what these do is it allows you to build websites based on your business data. So I would say these are kind of like more like internal tools that I would use. There is an option to publish and make it public if you want to. So you could create a website for your business and then publish it, which is fine. But then if you're creating like a dashboard with like all your financial details and maybe don't publish that. But you could share that. If you've got a team account, you should be able to then share it with team members and things like that. So but I find those visuals are better than actually if you're using like the presentations in like PowerPoint and stuff like that, which it can do. I find the website versions are a lot better because it can have a bit more, visual control over what's going on and make it look nicer. So
that's good to know.
Yeah. So it'd be interesting to play around a bit more with sites in the future.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, like I say, everything right now is on usage limits. They do show you in your settings in the lower left-hand corner. If you're using the app or browser, it does show you what percentage usage you've got for the next month or the current month. So they did do something similar to Anthropic where they said, well, we're only going to limit you for like the next 5 hours kind of thing. So it'd be like, well, you've got to wait now until 2 p.m. if you've used all of your usage, and then you can then come back to it at 2 p.m. and then you then get the next 5 hours. That's kind of how Anthropic works. But what OpenAI have done is they've gone, well, that's just silly. We're just going to open it up. So if you use your usage is for the entire month, which I guess in a way is also risky because you could use it all in one day. Or all in 1 week, and then you're like, well, now the only option I've got is to then pay more to get more usage.
Yeah.
So I guess there's pros and cons to it, but I kind of like not being restricted. I could use it for a day and then come back to it next week or whatever. And my usage is still there, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And as if that wasn't enough, so we've had 3 new models. We've had ChatGPT Work. They also released GPT Live as well last week, which I thought...
GPT Live?
So this is an AI voice agent. So when you use, like, you can chat to ChatGPT on your mobile phone, and it comes back. You have that 2-way conversation.
Yeah.
So it was pretty good, I would say. You could interrupt it.
So.
Yeah. Now they've made it even better, I would say. It's more human sounding, more conversational, and it can also do multiple tasks in the background. So you could be like, hey, could you look up I'm planning a trip to go to London at the weekend. Could you look up a hotel in this area? Also, I quite like to look up, what restaurants are in that sort of area. How can I get there? So that's kind of like three or 4 tasks.
Yeah.
And basically the agent will then go off and do those tasks in the background. And then, you can still carry on with your conversation and go, well, hold up, which hotels did you find? Did it be like, oh, well, I found these ones for you, and then it's like, okay, well, how do I get there? And it's like, well, I've already looked at that. So it'll grab that task and then go, right, well, this is how you get there. You would use like the circle line to get there on the tube or whatever, So it keeps all of that information. So it's more like you're talking to a human assistant, really, which is really awesome. But at the minute, you can only use it on the browser and I believe the mobile app. Most people use it in the mobile app anyway, I think. So that's really awesome. But they are going to bring it out to the API at some point. I think maybe later this month. I think it was earmarked for. So if you use the AI agents, like you've got voice agents answering phones or making calls or whatever, then you could then link in this new GPT Live model in there. I'm not, like I say, they haven't released any sort of API prices or whatever yet, because it's not out yet. But I imagine it's going to be quite pricey. But I also think it will give people a bit more of a human conversation kind of thing instead of quite, they're usually quite dry, aren't they? AI conversations. So I think this one's going to be a lot more accessible and easier to get on with. But they were actually quite clever in their marketing as well, because they had like 3, I would say there were 3 ladies. They were probably in like 70s or above kind of age range, and they were just sat there chatting to it and getting it to do stuff. So it's kind of like anyone can do this, it's not just
that anyone can use this.
Okay.
I like
and
it.
They were loving it. I'm sure they were paid to love it, but they were loving life in that.
Excellent actors.
They probably were.
Yes.
But they do show a lot in that advert as well. So it showed you that multitask sort of workflows and things like what it could do. And I thought it was a pretty cool advert.
Yeah, really cool. Yeah. That's a lot of updates.
I know, it was a lot to cram in,
Yeah. And also, Noel, so you've launched Clyde now, which is your AI agent. How is that going?
He's doing a great job. I mean, we're not that far off 200 agents currently working within the platform, which is really cool. And there's so much AI usage going on. I mean, we're in like 105 million AI tokens spent in the last week. So yeah, lots of people are using it. Lots of people get lots of really great stuff out of it. They're trying all kinds of different models. So when we connect into OpenRouter, there's you could get ChatGPT, a GPT 5.6 Sol. You could use that. That is in there, or you could use something really cheap and cheerful. And we've got our own benchmark to show you which ones of those work best and which don't. So yeah, you can use this agent for pennies, pretty much, and still get that sort of extra data or working with your apps and all that sort of good stuff. So yeah,
people are giving good feedback. People are enjoying it.
Yes, lots of good feedback so far. Really enjoying the app, and we're also released an integration to something called Exa, which is like an AI search application. So you can pop your API key in, and now you can have like these really super cheap AI models, and then give them full web browser access. So they can do tons of research for hours and cost you like $1. So like, why not use that? So that got integrated this week. So and lots more updates coming soon. But
great.
I'm kind of holding off releasing like the ability to chat with Clyde, like on a voice conversation, because I'm waiting for this GPT Live to come out. I'm going to see what that brings, because I think that would give a lot more interactability and stuff like with the agents. So hopefully late this month we'll bring that.
Okay. And if people want to find out more about Clyde, where can they go? Where can they find you?
So you can head to the website, which is projectclyde.app. All of the links are on there. Or we also have a free school community as well, which is school.com/Clyde. And that's basically like our support area. I give updates, on what's coming up next, and all the different features that have been added in. So you get that behind the scenes access, as well as some help if you require it as well. Yeah, but it's growing quickly.
That's great.
That community, which is awesome to see.
Amazing. Well, we really hope you've enjoyed this podcast episode, and that was a lot of information. That was a lot of updates. So well done if you got to the end. But thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you next time for another episode very soon.